Well, hello there friends. It is time for a grocery haul and I've actually got a really fun comparison. If you stay all the way to the end to today, I will show you the difference between what something costs at Aldi Australia as of October, well, early November of 2024 versus what something costs at Coles. So stick around for that. But as you would have seen in previous videos, some of my stocks are running a bit low now because I've been eating from the fridge, freezer and pantry for the last sort of 2-ish weeks. So it's time for a restock. We're gonna head to Coles, we're gonna head to Aldi, and I'm also gonna show you what I got at my local butcher to replenish our stocks and fill up my supplies. So first up, I actually went to my local butcher. We don't eat a huge amount of meat in this household, but our local butcher is a really lovely man and he does this meat pack for 2. It's $60 and it varies a little bit every single week what we get. So this time it included a beef roast, sausages, some steak, some pork chops, and some really good quality beef mince. So I don't buy this all that often, maybe about once a month, but this $60 pack will often last us for quite a while, and obviously I will mix it up with other proteins as well. So with that out of the way, we are gonna head first to Aldi and then we're gonna head to Coles and we're gonna see what we find. I'm gonna show you everything that I get, and at the very end we're gonna do a price comparison. So I ended up doing a pretty big grocery haul today. We were out of a lot of things, and as you would have seen in previous videos, I have had weeks when I basically spend almost nothing on groceries. So the proteins I picked up today was a whole chicken at, this is all from Aldi. So this is a whole chicken. We're gonna roast this probably next weekend. I also wanted like some mixed frozen vegetables. This is the winter blend, but I use this in stir fries and fried rice and all sorts of things as well. And some frozen green beans, so they're just gonna replenish my freezer. I was almost out of cheese, so this is a 1 kilo block, and I will show you here on the screen the difference in pricing per, I think it's per 100 grams or something, but buying the larger size and storing it properly will save you a lot of money. Then I got some stuff for a cheese platter. We've been invited to dinner, so I'm bringing a cheese platter with some bits and bobs for that. I'm gonna do pulled pork for dinner tonight, and it's gonna make a lot of leftovers. And again, this was a much better deal than the smaller size, so I'm gonna cut some of the fat off and cook this up later. I will link a video up here where I've made this pulled pork in the Instant Pot before. And then just good old chicken thigh fillets. This was not on special or anything, but I normally buy these and freeze them just like this, and then we can pull them out and barbecue them on a day when we need a quick, easy dinner. Moving along to the other main haul. So this half here, coffee and onwards, is from Coles. But we'll start over here with the rest of the Aldi stuff. So I got a big bag of potatoes. We go through a fair bit of potatoes in this house, and if you store them well, they last really well. I'll show some footage here on the screen of the difference in price on these if you buy the larger pack. I've got some Pink Lady apples. Again, much better deal to buy them loose than pre-packaged. Some mandarins. I'm making some coleslaw to go with that. We're gonna have rolls and pulled pork for dinner tonight. some mushrooms for making pizza in a couple of days. I was thrilled to see that Aldi had eggs again. They haven't had eggs for a little while due to the egg shortage and bird flu that is going around Australia at the moment. So I'm really glad to see that eggs were back. Some pasta, some fruit, a bit of salad. My husband really likes this hummus and it's a pretty good deal in this container. I also make my own hummus quite often, but he really likes this one. And I'm gonna have a go at growing some parsley and coriander seeds for my veggie patch. I will link a video up here where I show you what's in my veggie garden. It's time to sow a couple of new things though, so I'm gonna try to do those in smaller pots. I was out of brown onions, I got a whole bag of that. And snack-wise, we've got some dark chocolate. I really like this one from Aldi. Some almonds, some crackers to go with my cheese platter. And then we've got Team Crunchy peanut butter in this house. I've got some skim milk for my husband, almond milk for me, regular flour for my bread. I have a separate flour, obviously, for my gluten-free husband. And then a couple of pasta sauces just to have for like easy dinners and stuff. So I will show you here on the screen what the total Aldi haul came to. And as much as I love Aldi, I almost always have to go to Coles or Woolworths for something else. So this haul here is from Coles this time. So I got some meringue noodles for me and some gluten-free noodles for my husband. He said these were really quite good. So sometimes we'll do this like a kind of a fried noodle, obviously cooked in separate pots with some veggies and a scrambled egg or something. This coffee was a pretty good deal for a kilo. So this has got 4 little packs in it, and this works out pretty cheap. It's actually cheaper than the Aldi coffee at the moment. A couple of things for our caravan that we bought recently. So we're gonna have some, I normally keep like some soup and baked beans in there. Needed some instant coffee. One of these will probably go in the caravan as well. And then just some coconut milk for my cupboard. Back here we've got some full cream milk powder. I use this to make my own yogurt. I will link that video below as well for you. Some ginger beer for my husband. These 2 taco kits were actually a really good deal. They were half price at the moment. We don't have this all the time, but it's nice to have. And the date was like June next year, 2025. So I think that's pretty good. Some tonic water. And I've showed you these before, but these are basically gluten-free Lebanese bread. So they come in a 4-pack. They're gluten-free and they're really good for pizza bases. So we use them instead of pizza bases. And then unfortunately they didn't have a lot of roll options. So my husband's gonna get this to go with his pulled pork. We'll toast that up so it's nice, and baking paper. So that was my whole haul at Coles, this little bit here. So as you could tell, that was a pretty big grocery haul, but again, I only do this size haul every 3, sometimes even every 4 weeks. So this is gonna last us for a good long while. But I did also want to show you something. If you are in Australia at the moment, or even if you're in another country, comparing your prices makes a huge difference. So I did a tally of all the things I showed you that I got from Aldi, which came to, and I'm going to refer to my note here, $152.32. So that does not include the stuff that I got at Coles anyway, because Aldi didn't have them. But I then went to the Coles online shop, and I tallied up what it would have cost me. So that those items that I paid $152 for at Aldi would have cost me over $205 at Coles. So that's like a $50+ difference in pricing for the exact same items, home brand, same size of fruit, veg, protein, etc. So the total at Coles, if I would have gotten all those Aldi items, would have been $205.28. Now, every single thing was not cheaper at Coles either. There were a couple of things like the whole chicken was cheaper at Aldi, but the chicken thigh would have been cheaper from Coles. The pork roast was slightly cheaper at Aldi because of the per kilo price. And a couple of things like brown onions were a smidge cheaper for a kilo at Coles versus Aldi. But you can kind of see in the swings and roundabouts that it is a lot more competitive, better price to go to Aldi if you can. Now, because my husband is gluten-free and Aldi's gluten-free options are sometimes limited, I do often have to go and kind of double shop. Same goes for, you saw me get like kitty litter and other things. So that $152 from Aldi is only the food items, not sort of hygiene, kitty litter, or anything else. So there you go, there can be a really big difference between where you shop and how much money you save. I mean, imagine that $50 adding up over every week, month, over the year. That's a heck of a lot of money that you can do something else with if you so choose. Now, some of you might go, but Amy, you just spent $60 at the butcher's, which is really expensive compared to some of the proteins you can get elsewhere. And I absolutely agree, you got to pick and choose. I just thought this was a fun little comparison. Let me know if you are finding big price differences where you live in groceries or different grocery stores. I do have a video planned to go to a chain called Not Quite Right. You would have seen perhaps my cheaper buy miles. I'll link that video up here as well as down below, where I picked up a couple of things. But there's another chain that I haven't checked out yet that some of you viewers recommended, which is Not Quite Right. I have one not too far from where I live, so I'm gonna hit that up in the next few weeks and see what I can find there as well. In the meantime, I hope you have a fabulous week and I look forward to see you next week.